What's going on, good people? It's your man Jay Free. I see outside the box, chopping it up in the garage, as usual. Um, Going in on today's topics from an outside the box point of view or outside the box perspective. Up in the garage, as usual. Remember, perspective is everything. As a man thinketh, so is he. And so we like to just broaden the horizons and get people's minds to open up and to pay attention to some of the details of the things that are going on around us. And so we like to look from an outside the box point of view. Couple topics we're gonna get on today within the current news. As you see by the title, I just wanted to start out with this topic to bring up a couple points, but we're going to talk about a couple things. Anybody that's listening, like what we're doing, like the video, subscribe, or just click on in and get on in the chat room and share your 2 cents, share your perspective. Again, all we doing is trying to challenge the mind to open up to critical thinking, to thinking outside the box and not just accept everything as it's given to us on the surface level. And so that's where we come from. As the topic said, of us are familiar with the story already. Black Muslim police officer in Minnesota kills an unarmed white woman. The story is a few days old, so I know plenty of people are familiar with it. Pull up the article because some may not be familiar with it. With it, we can read a little bit of what's going on. I guess it was July 18th. This weekend news came out that an unarmed Caucasian woman was shot and killed by police and what her family believes is an unjust shooting. Typically, whenever a police officer shoots and kills an unarmed African-American victim, Blue Lives Matter, American Nazis rush to support the officer, no matter what the circumstances are. Now, it said, let me read on. Well, this case is a little different. You see, the officer is black, from Somalia, and Muslim. Here's how the Daily Mail is reporting it. The 40-year-old was gunned down by Muhammad Noor, 31, the first Somali American officer in this precinct. Things to point out that we all know to be true. It says, whenever a police officer shoots and kills an unarmed African-American victim, Lives Matter protesters and American Nazis rush to support the officer. In other words, they run to the scene of the crime, and they said, regardless of what the circumstances are, it doesn't matter if it's evidence to prove that the officer did something wrong, that he was acting, he was acting out of order, or that he was in malice when he done the crime. It doesn't matter. Report and say, well, their job is hard and it's challenging and they're troubling. Blue Lives Matter. And we've always talked about that no one ever said that another life didn't matter when they said that Black Lives Matter. But what they said was, you act as though Black lives do not matter. And so the separation where they came in with the Blue Lives Matter was like a slap in the face to say, hey, everybody's dying, all lives matter. You know what I'm saying? And so this is critical because they created the slogan that Blue Lives Mattered. And now we have a black officer that has killed a white woman. Not just a white male, but a white woman who, based on what they're showing about us, had, there was nothing that could be said that would, purvey a message that would say that she was hostile or that she posed a threat. You see what I'm saying? And so it changes the dynamic, people's perspective and what it is that they're looking for or that they're looking at. And so now, but where are the officers? Where are the neo-Nazi groups that are rushing to the support of the officer? Why are they not rushing in and saying Blue Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter? Because now it's a white woman that's been killed. So not a whole circumstance, everything changes. And all I try to do, again, is we say, think outside the box. All we try to do is get you to pay attention to some of the details that are going on and how the rift and the separation is being caused to keep people divided and to keep people fighting and to keep us continuing to scrape at the barrel while those at the top continue to propagate the plans and the agenda that they have on their list. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of things that we see that are going on in the news oftentimes are psyops, they're false flags, they're hoax. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to be able to pay attention and discern in between, because with all the violence that have gone on around the country between the races, as well as between police and civilian, military, and so on and so forth, Muslim and Christian. You know, there's a lot of strife in our country right now. A lot of lines are being drawn in the sand, so to say. And so now here we go with all. We just had the Philando Castile verdict that was just passed, where he was found, you know, not guilty. We've had other situations. We want Walter Scott, you know, where they found out that they falsified information in the case, as well as Michael Brown. They found out information was falsified in the case. Nothing was overturned. They didn't overturn the cases. Philando Castile, the officer, still was acquitted and allowed to walk away. So the slap in the face of injustice that goes towards people of color or people of the different race. Now we have a white woman that have been shot by a black officer. And so to see what the response or the reply will be, because now this officer ends up becoming convicted and ends up, you know, getting sentenced and faces time. Now where do we stand? You see what I'm saying? Now where do we stand as far as justice? Because if the black officer gets arrested for the same thing that the white officers have been allowed to do on a repeated basis about race relations in regards to what we try to, because so many people try to act like it just don't exist no more. And what I try to point out is it shouldn't exist. There's a system at the top. Do you know that during slavery, the majority of white people were poor? And I just say that I ain't taking sides. I'm just, like I say, we got to think outside the box. We got a canker sore. We got an issue, a problem in our community, and that problem needs to be resolved. And so knowing that this problem needs to be resolved, we have to, the only way we can fix it is to go to the root. You know what I'm saying? So we got to move back layers, and we got to move back all of the games that we've been playing, and we just got to get to the root and deal with the truth. And so the truth is that there's a divide in this country based on race and economic status. And as a result, every day people are continuing to gnaw and fight at each other ahead, when really we should all be working together, because together we would all accomplish greater things. That so much more is available together as a unit. So again, I just wanted to bring the light a little bit about that situation, what was going on up in Minnesota with the black officer shooting a white woman. And I'm just curious to know what people think about that in regards to the police. I got another little story here. We're gonna click on police, because as we, you know, talk about paying attention to the things that are in front of us, stuff that we normally don't look at and don't see and don't think about. And so as we try to act like race don't play a part, you know what I'm saying, we have to acknowledge the way we are being used, fuel to hate. This one here, where we gonna share, my computer move a little slow. Baltimore police officer accidentally recording himself planting drugs at a crime scene. Now we've all heard the stories of officers, you know, using their privilege or abusing their authority, should we say. We hear about it, and for some of us, unfortunately, we've been a witness to it. Many of us, you know, have experiences where we have been pulled over by the police or whether we were walking, whether we were in a vehicle, we've been stopped or harassed at some point or another by police. And within that process, we've been, frisked and searched. We've been cars and handcuffed and set on the sidewalk, you know what I'm saying, so the passerby is looking at us like we some type of off the chain criminal, you know what I'm saying, like we done something, when most of the time is nothing done. It's just an officer showing out or picking with you. And so they make you go through all these things. They pull you over and say, I pulled you over because you didn't use your blinker or your tail light was out. But then once they pull you over, they want to search your vehicle. You know what I'm saying? They want to, they harassing you. You know what I'm saying? They going through all of these hoops and hurdles. If you pull me for my tail light, either give me a ticket or no. You run my license, my registration, whatever. And when my information come back, no warrants, I'm clean, you either give me my ticket or you don't. You give me a warning or a ticket. The rest of the conversation is really unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? But the way that things go in the system that we dealing with, that's why we talk about the difference in the injustice. The way things go in the system that we talk about, they don't just give you your license and say, all right, well, I'm gonna give you a warning, man. Go ahead and fix your headlight. Go on, head home. Most of the time, they want to do more. Now, watch this. Those situations, I've been in the vehicle by myself or with a couple other people, and depending on, I've been in the vehicle by myself, and as long as I'm yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, and I'm not belligerent or not out of line, and I follow orders, they'll shine the light all through the car and do all of that. But usually once everything check out, usually most of the time, some of the time, depending on the situation, I have had a situation where they say, all right, I'm gonna give you the warning. You can go ahead and leave, get your tail light fixed. Cause they, but they check you out though. But then when I'm with someone and they pull you the same way and you do the same polite, try to respect them and blah, 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 they still want to say, well, anybody else got anything they ain't got no business having? Then they want to ask the other people in the car, you got your license? Can I see your ID? You know what I'm saying? Then they want to say, well, we want to, then after about 5 or 10 minutes, then another car pulls up. You know what I'm saying? Now they got back up. Then they say, would you gentlemen mind stepping out of the vehicle? Now, knowing that my Fourth Amendment, I don't have to get out of the vehicle if I don't choose to. But you know what I'm saying? The more you try to fight against them, the more you provoke them to anger. You know what I'm saying? So you try to be cooperative. You know what I'm saying? So that they'll hurry up and do what they're doing and leave you on and let you go on about your business. And that's what we talking about. That's not, we shouldn't have to exist in that type of state where we afraid, you know what I'm saying, every time we get pulled over, wondering what's going to happen by the police if we get pulled over. Are they going to, you know what I'm saying? Because they literally what they're gonna do. And this, I'm trying to get this video to come up here because I'm gonna show not only pull you over, but I know people that this has happened to specifically. And we talking about where the officers now plant drugs on you. You understand what I'm saying? We're talking about the officers plant drugs or plant a weapon, whatever the situation may be. But we're talking about having to deal with, that type of I guess you would say hypocrisy, because they claiming that they there for you and for your benefit, but yet these are the things that they act out in and do. Give me a moment. I'm gonna try to see if I can get this video to pop up. I'm gonna stop for a second and then we'll come back. Let's get this. Just bear with me. All right. All right. It's working now. I apologize for the delay. So yeah, because like I say, when we dealing with some of the issues and we trying to get a better understanding of what's going on, this helps us. This is him planting the drugs. Now he's cutting the camera on.
Let me go check here. Hold on.
Now he's pretending like he looking for some drugs. You see what I'm saying? He acting like he really looking, and he just put them, but he was unaware that his camera was pre-recording before he recorded. Now watching he, you know.
Was that 30? Yo. Hold up. Not yet.
Now I'm sure you can see that for yourself, though, very clearly. The way I understood it as I read it, the body cam itself is designed to, the camera's already on anyway, just like like your phone or the camera's already on. It's just a matter of whether it's recording. But apparently the way it's designed is it automatically, when you click record, it automatically saves whatever was 30 seconds prior to you hitting record. And I guess that's like a safe for us. Look, it just helped the people, the citizens, because when you think about it, I guess it's like, if an officer's in the middle of, a shootout or he chasing, he's chasing, an assailant, and he might do something, and then, like in this case, push record after he do something, but the camera's automatically going to at least pick up. You can't have that first half a minute is going to be there from the time you hit record. So it's kind of like a good delay that helps. And so that's what happened. He didn't realize, or he forgot, you know what I'm saying? Because had he waited another 40 seconds or 30 seconds, it would not have downloaded that 30 seconds. But because of his mistake, we got evidence. So we're not talking about situations where, an officer have been, what we said, and we're not talking about our own personal experiences that we have, but we saying right here in the midst of everything that's going on around our country. Baltimore, wasn't that Freddie Gray's area? Everything that's going on around our country, all of the discrepancies, all of the violence, all of the disproportionate attacks against the people, you know what I'm saying, by the government and the military, by the militarized police. And these dudes is out here continuing to, they like I say, he just, it's clear, plain as day, he planted drugs. We can't, there's nothing you can say, you know, no excuse you can put on that. You know what I'm saying? As to why they would have planted the drugs. And it's a million. I don't have no details as to who the person was, why they planted the drugs, what type of. I don't have none of those details. Whether it should have been, that's not the problem. The problem is just simply open your eyes and pay attention to some of the things that's going on around us. I'm not going into a teaching mode where we're talking about this and that and what it should be. I'm just simply pointing out some of the things that are going on around us. You know what I'm saying? That we need to open our eyes up and pay attention to the scene and the settings of everything going on around us, man. Especially when it comes to our militarized police units and what's going on. They planting drugs, they killing civilians, you know what I'm saying? They violating our rights, you know what I mean? And we operate in ignorance, completely unaware. The Constitution gives you rights far above and beyond what you allow them to deem and put on you. But like I say, the rabbit hole goes deep, but we have to accept the pill before we can be willing to go down the rabbit hole. There's a surface level of knowledge that first must be understood. So it's your man Jay Free. I see blessings and peace, man. Outside the box, 100 love.